I really wanted to come and see a movie the day after seeing The Whale to wipe the taste and memory of that movie from my mouth and my mind. But things happen, and I didn't get to see a movie until this weekend. But, it worked out, and now I'm going to see Plane, which I totally forgot what this movie was about until I saw the poster, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that movie's about. So this is another one that I'm not really expecting much from. I just want an action movie, and I'm pretty sure it's going to deliver on that. Guns blazing, people dying, action, adventure. Now, could it be better than I'm expecting? Sure. But I really think it's going to be just a shoot 'em up, save the passengers, save the people around you, stop the bad guys, that type of movie. What more can you really explain, or what more can you really expect from a movie like this? So yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be Oscar worthy for next year. I highly doubt that. But like I said, it cannot be any worse than seeing The Whale last weekend, which, for my full feelings and review of that film, check out on the Unedited Review Movie playlist here on the channel. But anyway, gonna go in, watch this movie after working a full day of overtime. I'm ready to kick back, relax, and like I said, see some action and see some bad guys die. So, I'll let you know what I think of this movie when I get out. This is Unedited Reviews, Plane. So it's been about a week since I filmed that intro. Obviously, different shirt, so it's different time. But that wasn't because I didn't want to do it or because I couldn't think about what to say about this film. It was just life, because shortly after I came out of the film, I started to not feel good, and I haven't felt good the past couple days. Now, that has nothing to do or say about the movie itself. But with that being said, the movie Plane is, well, plain. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's right in that middle area. This movie in no way was what I was really expecting. And to be honest, it wasn't really what I was hoping for. I mean, I guess thinking about it this long actually did give me some thoughts that I think what I was expecting going into this film was that we get to the crash pretty quick, or the landing really quickly, and then right away we get into the passengers are kidnapped. Gerard Butler's character has to fight his way through everyone, all the villains, all the bad guys, to get to them. Maybe a couple of them die, and they get off the island. And while some of that did happen, that's not exactly how it happened. I'd say it felt like about a third of the movie was actually in the plane and getting to the whole issues with the plane, them going off radar, and then the quote-unquote crash. Now, I did enjoy that part. I will say, overall, when it came to the movie as a whole, that part was probably the best because it gripped you. I mean, whatever they were doing, they really made you feel like you were in that plane with them. From lightning striking or rain or what have you, all the problems, the air currents, all that technical jargon, just the plane going out of control, people panicking, that worked. They did a good job of establishing that fear, that concern, that uncertainty. And I thought they did that really well. And I'm thinking, okay, if they do this good, then that'll carry over to the rest of the movie. And it didn't really do that. It just didn't. And then you had about the middle part. I'm going to say it's a third, but it was probably a little less than that, where you just have them trying to figure out what's going on, where they are, how they're going to survive. You got these people, you got individual people who all have their own different personalities, many of which you expect. They're the stereotypes that you'll see in this type of movie or this type of TV show around crashes and people on planes, things like that. And then we get into the final third where they're taken prisoner. And this is the part of the movie that you actually see most in the trailers. It's really the last third, I'll say, of the movie that is them kidnapped, taken prisoner by the guys on this island, by the cartel, whatever you want to call them, pirates. They call them something specifically in the movie, but I can't remember what it is. So it's not really as focused on that part of the movie or that part of the story as the trailers would lead you to believe. The other thing that the trailers mislead you on a little bit is how much of a dynamic or how much of a story is going to be between Gerard Butler's character and Mike Colton's character. Yes, they're involved. They have chemistry together. They do stuff together. But it's not really that strong of a chemistry. It doesn't feel like there's a reason for them really to be together other than he's got to keep an eye on this bad guy, on this murderer, supposedly. And, I mean, that's part of the story. The story, it flows okay, but it just kind of stalls out. It doesn't feel like it's really going anywhere, and it doesn't move at a nice, steady pace. It feels like they should have added stuff to it. You know, they should have done what the trailer showed. The trailer showed the action and the, oh no, terrorists, blah, you know, plane going down. And that's really not in the movie. Like, it's not in there as much as they would lead you to believe. Now, when it comes to the story between, like I said, between Gerard Butler's character, the captain, and Mike Colton's character, I wanted more from it. Specifically, Colton's character. Because they act like they're going to tell you what happened, or if he was falsely accused, or what's going on. But they never really do. They don't give him enough time for his character to really be developed, or for you to get a real good idea of who he is. You get glimpses of it here and there based on things he does, things he says. But then there's other moments where it's like, what exactly is going on? Gerard Butler, he's good as he always is. Granted, sometimes he's better in other things. Like, I mean, let's just say he's great in 300. We all know that. Especially if you're watching this channel and you're a comic nerd, I'm sure you've seen that. But he's also great in a movie called The Ugly Truth, which my wife loves, and I've seen it, and it is really good. I highly recommend. Here, this is just like, it feels like he's just doing another part to get another paycheck. It doesn't feel like he's really putting in much effort. I mean, there's moments there, but it never really grabs you. Just the fact that I can't think about much to say about his character means that, to me, it wasn't very well developed. I will say, I did like the relationship more between him and his crew members. That was what more developed and was better done than other relationships. I don't want to give too much away if you plan on going to see this movie. So there's certain things you expect to happen that do happen, other things you hope happen, may or may not happen. It just, I don't want to say it follows the path of a normal movie like this, because it doesn't, but at the same time, it doesn't give you what you're going to the movie for. Give you what you're going to this movie for, especially based on, again, the trailers. Now, I will say also, like I've said, the first third of the movie with the whole plane and that everything that goes on there, that's gripping. Whether it's the musical score that they put in there, the sound effects, the visuals, that was good. That was so much better than the rest of the movie. I'm sorry. But I did like the creativity a little bit for some of the stuff. You really do have to suspend your disbelief. I mean, you go to a movie like this, or just movies in general, and unless they're a documentary or a biopic, you gotta suspend your disbelief overall. But after I think about it, there are one or two moments where it's like, Okay, was that really... I don't know if that really worked. I don't think that really made sense. But I will say, when they're doing technobabble and saying, well, if we do this and this will do this and this will do that, then yeah, it sounds real, because I don't know any of that. I don't know what they're talking about. Could be true, could be not. Nobody else really stands out. The passengers, like I said, most of them are a stereotype, and a lot of them I could care less about. Honestly, if every single one of them died, I don't really think I would have cared, except maybe one or two. But there are other parts that I just thought about this movie that come up and they keep mentioning, or just little nuances, things that they're like, don't do that, don't do that. But they never really go anywhere with it. The actual ending of the movie does feel a little abrupt. Not because the story hasn't ended, not because things haven't been resolved. It just feels like this is one of those movies that they should have been like, okay, we're finishing the movie, but we have this last scene that we need to show you. And they didn't. That last scene could have been cheesy, but at the same point, I kind of was expecting it, and it wasn't there. So overall, this movie, definitely not as bad as The Whale. Definitely was a semi-palate cleanser from that movie. But it also didn't give me what I really was going to this movie for. It's not really memorable. It's got a few good moments. The characters aren't really as well developed as you like them to be, especially who your main characters are. The focal point of the film is not where the trailers would have you believe it is. And yeah, it's a movie that I can't recommend going to the theater to see, but when it comes out on streaming, if it's on TV in a couple of years, sure, throw it on. It's not terrible. So for me, I'd have to give this a ranking of Civilian, because like I said, it's right down the middle. Civilian's right in the middle for me. Am I going to go see it again? Probably not. Will I see it again? Probably not. But I can't say that I'm annoyed that I went to see it. Can't say that I feel like I wasted just under 2 hours of my life to see it. But what did you think? Have you seen Plane? Did you really like it? Did it give you exactly what you wanted based on the trailers? Or are you more like me and this movie just didn't do it for you? Maybe it didn't do it for you at all. If you haven't seen the movie, what are your expectations? Does this review make you want to see it more or not want to see it more? Whatever your thoughts, comment down below, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all my future videos. But until our next video, until our next session, remember, read what you love, enjoy what you love, and let's all work for a better fandom. I'll see you next time.